Bitcoins are one of a number of virtual currencies which are increasingly used in the economy today. They're digital currencies and they're anonymous in nature. What that means is that revenue authorities are increasingly concerned that parties might try to use these virtual currencies to disguise or hide transactions and income. But of course, there's been recent reports that say the ATO is aware of these particular risks and that they are increasing their monitoring of the use of Bitcoins in transactions today.
And Matthew, what GST issues arise with the use of Bitcoins?
Well, for GST registered businesses in Australia, there's a number of GST issues that they would need to consider if they are contemplating accepting Bitcoins. Firstly, most GST registered businesses would accept and understand that they'll be liable for GST on the transactions which they undertake in exchange for the Bitcoins. However, what they may not necessarily appreciate is that they're going to need to convert those Bitcoins into Australian dollars in order to pay the GST amount to the tax office and to report the GST amount on the tax invoices that they're issuing to customers. The other issue that they'll need to consider is, well, what are we going to do with the Bitcoins that we've received? Generally, they're going to do one of two things. They're either going to spend the Bitcoins to buy things themselves, or they're going to exchange the Bitcoins for currencies. There is a risk, I think, that for GST registered businesses in Australia, when they spend the Bitcoins or they exchange the Bitcoins, that may trigger a GST liability for GST registered businesses in Australia. The reason for that is that the GST Act has a defined definitional concept of money, and in my view, that definition does not extend to virtual currencies which are not actually tied to any particular government. And so for that reason, I think there's a risk that GST registered businesses that spend or exchange Bitcoins within Australia may be subject to GST.
A number of really interesting issues. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.